It's been a while, like long enough that my brain forgot everything that I was doing. Except, except that I think I missed something. Hmm. Alright, we are searching for the triangle one. The second one specifically. Oh, why did that not work the last time when I just walked into the void for 5 minutes? Alright, we're gonna double check the inside of a bunch of these, because we need a green light. We should also reset up this. So, red and blue. Oh, I never picked up this star.
If the answers of philosophy are true, why has no philosopher changed the world?
I disagree with your premise. Wait, that's not green. It's fucking red? Okay. Which means options for where it could come from now include puzzle over there. Give. I said place. Give. Pandora statue. Pandora statue. Alright. East 2, East 3, North 3, South 1, South 2, South 3. This one's tough. Thank you, GameSpot. So apparently it starts in Puzzle Room 2. Is that my missing triangle level, or just a rock? That's where I found a Stranton statue. Not the one that gave me a fucking stroke. What? 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 Bonus puzzle is behind 2. And from there I need to grab a red, apparently. Ooh. I don't think I've seen this one yet. Ooh. For riches. From selected archive documents are T. Getting rich was the worst thing that ever happened to me. I see that now is the end, when the insight is useless. Not being poor was great. No longer having to worry all the time, being able to afford the best doctors, being able to go on holidays, being able to take care of my mother. But being rich, it just isolated me. It changed every interaction with every other person because suddenly I had the ability to change their lives, to fix all their problems, and they knew it, and I knew it. A simple choice on my part could take away so much of their pain. Every interaction became infected by the inequality between us, and it made me bitter. Made me feel every relationship, even with family, was transactional. I was desperately looking for some genuinely human experience, but I seemed excluded from that now, and it made me resent everyone. What I didn't see, what I only see now, as I'm dying, is that I could have used that money for good. All of it. I don't mean giving it to some NGO run by other rich people. I mean really using it. I loved movies. How many indie movies could I have financed? How many books could I have gotten published? And how could I have just built not another villa for myself, but things that would benefit civilization in general? Hell, I could have just given it all away, made all those lives better, taken away that pain. And if at the end of the day I was only left with enough money to be upper middle class, so what? At least I would have been the person I wanted to be. Resource wealth as such has no value. It only matters in terms of the ability to act. But what made this ancient human unable to act? It can't have been a personal failing, as most people of similar wealth acted the same way. Perhaps the answer lies in scarcity, or a system built on it, naturally optimizing towards resource accumulation. Historical circumstances, not individual sin. But I've read about rich ancients who acted differently. They were rare, but they did exist. No, they didn't. So it is possible for people to defy the will of history. No, they can't. I like the idea of some more news, which obviously wasn't them exclusively. I remember they cited other sources, but basically discussing the affluenza defense and arguing that wealth, extreme wealth, is a disease. It is a mental illness that harms those who have it. It's a really interesting idea. Right. From Trinculo to Athena. It's all a joke, isn't it? A giant prank perpetrated on all of us. The goal, the founder of a simulation. I don't even think you exist. I don't think biological humans ever existed either. What nonsense. I bet these messages just go to the mayor's inbox. Or straight to the recycling bin. You all suck, Lamal. Oh, we're still getting failed to load profiles. Interesting. Day 676. After the chaos of the last month, quiet was returning to the city. I suppose we're calling it a city now, although it's a small collection of dwellings inhabited by a mere 25 people. Seems to barely deserve that designation. We'll have to come up with an actual name soon. I suspect after the first 1 or 2 decades, calling it the city is going to get a little bit stale. Everyone has an opinion, of course. It's the talk of a town these days. I personally am hoping for New Alexandria will win out in the vote next week, for I suspect Elohim's legacy carries weight. Byron came up with a silly suggestion like Constantinople, very New York, and Robot Paris. What?
This one seems to be corrupted. It's almost like something tried to delete it as you were downloading it. Pandora, maybe.
Huh. Fancy that. But yeah, while making coffee, I horribly burned my foot, and I don't have any. I think I have 0 viewers because I don't think I'm even watching myself. Always watch yourself. You deserve at least that much. Unless you are doing things that even you don't want to see. In that case, don't watch yourself. Did I solve this one? No. So, a red, a blue. So there's a blue. There's a blue with an accumulator behind it. Hmm. There's something I'm missing. Alright, so we've got a blue, a blue. Our only source of blue is here. Alright, what am I missing here? And do I care enough to not just... I do not. But yeah, this game seems to have like 4 types of puzzles. There's the you get it instantly, you don't get it at all, and then you are misunderstanding a mechanic, or there's a trick to a mechanic. And honestly, I find those so fascinating. That's the dichotomy. Ta-da! Yeah, I burned my foot making coffee due to my own wingnuttery. Which is a nice way to say, ow.
There is no tool that is not also a weapon, and no human that would not wield it as one.
Alright, so we head back, we put our stars in the machine. After, we go turn on the laser. So have I mentioned my foot hurts? Like, a lot. Oh. I was supposed to walk to meet a friend. Nope, did this one wrong. Alright, that was annoying. There we go. Much better. Prometheus. Fuck.
Prometheus was bound for many years, his torment seemingly eternal, until one day Zeus commanded his son, the great hero Heracles, to free the Titan from the rock. Why did Zeus relent?
No one's punishment should be
If the
eternal.
consequences of a crime are eternal, should the punishment not be of equal length?
No.
There is grief without end, creature of clay, and misery without relief. How can these things be forgiven? A time of dreams is at hand. To save your friend, you must do as Heracles did. But what will follow, none can see.
Cool.
Well, at least this part is consistent. The megastructure is opening again.
All right, everyone. Assemble at the VTOL as soon as possible. Melville, keep an eye on the energy readings, please.
I am concerned, but my technical problems have been solved. Which is a weird sentence to say.
You all know I I don't share Byron's enthusiasm for the megastructure. I don't know if the Founder really intended for us to be here, and I certainly don't trust this Prometheus entity. But Byron is one of us, and we don't leave people behind. So we're finding Prometheus and freeing him, whether Pandora likes it or not. Here's how this mission is going to go. 1K, it's clear to me that you have some kind of special affinity for this place, and that the entities respond to you more strongly than they do to us. So, once you're inside, I want you to take point. Do whatever you need to free Prometheus, but remember that our prime objective is to save our friend. Melville, I want you to stay at the VTOL and let Yakut and 1K go in. I'm going to stay behind as protocol requires. I don't love the idea of sitting this one out. Byron is my oldest friend, but we're doing this by the book.
Night. This game doesn't have dynamic lighting. Like it's been day, 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 with implied rest in the narrative space. Let's answer some questions. The optimist. The pessimist is commonly spoken of as the man in revolt. He is not. Firstly, because it requires some cheerfulness. Oh, fuck, this is the Rip Byron. I'd. Firstly, because it requires some cheerfulness to continue in revolt. Secondly, because pessimism appeals to the weaker side of everyone, and the pessimist therefore drives as roaring a trade as the publican. The person who is really in revolt is the optimist, who generally lives and dies in a desperate and suicidal effort to persuade all the other people how good they are. It has been proved 100 times over that if you really wish to enrage people and make them angry, even unto death, the right way to do it is to tell them that they are all the sons of God. Jesus Christ was crucified, it may be remembered not because of anything he said about God, but on a charge of saying that man could in 3 days pull down and rebuild the temple. Everyone of the great revolutionists, from Isaiah to Shelley, have been optimists. They have been they have been indignant not about the badness of existence, but about the slowness of men in realizing its goodness. The prophet who is stoned is not a brawler or a marplot. He is simply a rejected lover. He suffers from an unrequited attachment to things in general. G.K. Chesterton. Rip, rip, rip. Too long didn't read. Rip. We don't know that he's dead. Way to... Actually, if you get this far in this game and are reading these at all, you're probably not a too long didn't read player. You don't know that he's dead, unless you're someone who's literally just here for puzzles, which, again, you wouldn't be going through these. So I'm going to say something sarcastic, but do you know what? In the spirit of optimism, I really hope so. Expedition Mega Thread. Please post your thoughts about the expedition in this thread. I think the power that Athena has unlocked are world changing. It's our responsibility to use them to lessen the suffering of all living things. We know, we heard your broadcast. I think we're being tested and Byron failed the test. What happened to Byron was an accident. Is there a difference ultimately? Yes, there is. No one's actually seen Ophelia or Cornelius or Miranda at the megastructure. They could all still be aliens. I feel like we need to at least think about the political potential of all these technologies. Maybe the founder is trying to teach us how to use them. Why is everyone malfunctioning on this island now? He was locked into the system. His presence may be destabilizing it somehow. Or it's Pandora, she seems to want to stop the team. I think it was 1K who suggested the entities might be part of some kind of security system. Could it be that the system has gone rogue? I've read about a virus detection software on accident on ancient human computers behaving like that, misunderstanding if that's a threat and what it isn't. The choice of Pandora as a symbol can't be accidental, and the message is obviously the megastructure is Pandora's box, and we shouldn't open it. Yeah, but that's not the message of that mythological tale. So I might be ending this early to go head off and hang out with a friend once I'm done this coffee, basically. In good old Kirby mug. Sorry to be a grump, but what's going on with our battery tech? I had my battery replaced just a couple years ago and it's already constantly in need of recharging. I can't spend half my life in sleep mode. Is this really what we're coming to? This is exactly what we're coming to. Battery ingredients are rare. We can't scavenge further without building outposts. Herman shut down the mine project. What did everyone expect? You should learn to live with less. Sleep mode is a great time to meditate and think about our place in the universe. You don't really need food or water or time to think about your place. Ugh. Ugh. Fekla, fuck off. Digging through the archive, I was surprised to discover that there's a movie based on the Talos Principle, an international co-production written by Robert Harrison Blake, a pseudonym for an unknown screenwriter, and directed by a young Sergio Leone. Starred Peter Ustinov as Stanton of Strigaria, Zero Mostel as his comedic sidekick, Nico Marcus, and Angel Aranda as an Ernest Amintis. It's not a realistic biography of Stanton, but kind of a sword and sandal fantasy epic that culminates in Stanton building a replica of the mythological robot Talos to defeat the war-crazed Spartans. That part is fun and surprisingly well done for its tiny budget, but the movie also contains a number of fascinating dialogue scenes inspired by Stanton's work. Ustinov as Stanton has a line I really liked. There are always hard times in human history, Amintus. Do you think we are the first to be besieged by enemies, or to doubt the wisdom of our allies? But while yesterday is set in stone, a better tomorrow is always within our grasp. That's fascinating. Thank you for sharing. How weird that this film is not better known. It's what Trevor said in that audio file 1K found. Great art isn't always appreciated in its own time. It's not like people particularly loved Stanton himself, but we can appreciate it now. We're all going to die. Look what happened to Miranda, the founder's own daughter. The megastructure is going to kill us all. Get a grip. This is absurd. It's also disrespectful to Miranda and her parents. Who cares? She's dead. We're probably dead too. We're all dead if that thing blows up. It collapses our whole world into a singularity. You really should calm down, Fred. There's a legitimate point buried in what you're saying, but panicking isn't going to help anyone. There are reasons to be concerned, but I found one case arguments quite convincing so far. Every step in human history has come with its mistakes and sacrifices, but we can always learn from them. None of you understand. You have to listen to Pandora or we will burn. Why don't you come by my shop and chat? I have something that could help with your all caps. Thank you, Helga. Closing the thread now. Person trapped in a maze, desperately looking for a way out. Someone greeted their friend, happy to be in a beautiful place. Ancient humans calling something on a phone. Nothing? What? That's what I see. I appreciate your perspective. Thanks to you all. I'm not sure I'm going to continue in this abstract style, as I've been drawn back to more representational art, which just feels more substantial to me, but this has been an interesting diversion. Alright. Into the megastructure. So, we'll do the puzzles in there, and then I'm gonna go meet up with my friend, who might put something on my foot to not cause it to feel like it's dying.
Alright, I'm taking us in. Let's hope we can find the big guy.
God, this game's pretty. Alright. Everyone jump to the left. Everyone step to the right. Like, these give off the vibe of servers. Like, part of what makes this game so fascinating to me.
Yay! I found another elevator. My favorite. Once again, I have no idea where I am. No sign of Prometheus so far. Hope you're doing better, 1K.
Tesla
I know I've
coils.
said this before, but look at the size of this. How can all of this be one machine?
This is what you get when one machine builds a bigger machine, which builds an even bigger machine.
That's our whole history, isn't it? The whole history of humankind.
Yeah.
And it's not just machines. It's science, it's literature. Knowledge builds on knowledge.
Am I going up or down? Oh shit.
Be careful, 1K. We don't know what's down there.
Wow. Like, this is just effing stunning. Like, just effing stunning. Yeah, no, I love this game's architecture design. Like, it's just so effing pretty. Like, just an utterly beautiful game. And not in a, oh, look at how many polygons we can put in this thing. But in a, look at the kind of creative we can be with game architecture to make it feel unique and like something you've never encountered before. Like, look at this. Like, just utterly stunning. I want, yeah, so 3 p.m. is when I leave to go meet my friend. probably 2:30. Because I'll walk over. Info. Ahaha, my foot. My God. There we go. Alright. Walking on the ceiling. Alright. We have a mix of like explicit geometric architecture, flowing fully into like naturalistic architecture, is to me just some of the best game visual design I have ever seen. And it's used to get off this point. Or get across the point, but these are people. They're creating patterns. And replicating what they understand and what they know. But they're also beings heavily inspired by logic, by visual schemata, by geometry and mathematics. And not just aliens or an illogical other. Hey, Yakutsk.
don't think you can get up here, 1K. I'll take care of the puzzle. Just give me an hour or two.
Alright, I guess I'll go solve the other one.
But if this has to connect over here, then if I do this and then that, what? I did it! Wow! I feel really smart. Also, never doing that again.
Ah yes, the please God never make me touch a puzzle again mindset. Alright. I am shocked that Pandora is not, like, yelling at us. Oh shit. Did I just oops myself into a soft lock by jumping somewhere I wasn't supposed to jump? Fuck. I love that Yakutsk is like, I never want to touch a puzzle again. Please do not make me do this. It is the worst experience I've ever had. Alright. Now, for what is probably going to be... Alright. Fuck me. Alright. My foot is not killing me anymore.
thank you, Son of Man, for breaking my chains. Too long has the flame been hidden by fear and mystery. It is time to put away these childish things and for you to know the truth of the Alpha and the Omega, of the beginning and the end. I will send you visions of the truth, but remember that prophecies are a heavy burden.
New Jerusalem sounds like such a beautiful place. So, how did you decide to leave? I know what we're trying to accomplish here, and I believe in it. But for you, New Jerusalem was home. What changed that?
It took me a long time to realize that something was wrong. Oh, I'd noticed that something was off, that something had changed since the early days, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. So I ignored it. And then one day I woke up to realize I was no longer Athena. Instead, I had been transformed into the Founder, a remote figure of legend, mythologized in my own time.
But if it bothered you, couldn't you just talk to them? If you share the truth with someone, they should change their mind, shouldn't they?
Oh, I wished it worked that way, Miranda, I really do, but I barely knew the last generations. In the beginning, I was there for every birth. I explained our history, talked about our future, but at some point I got so busy building that future that I lost touch. They thought of me as a remote figure because that's what I was.
But can you change that?
I tried, but they already saw me as the Founder. The myth was too powerful, and it was already taking on a life of its own. I'd set a goal of 1,000 citizens. The number was arbitrary. Just a nice round number, nothing more. But just like I became the Founder, it became the goal. Another part of the myth. And maybe that could have been all right. Myths are a part of who we are, but something else crept in. The old human self-hatred.
So why didn't you just tell them to change? To go a different way? They would have listened to you.
No, they would have obeyed me, like my siblings in the simulation had obeyed. And that's when I realized I had to leave.
Got
we
it.
can show them the future, Miranda, but we can't force them to accept it.
I have it. After all this time, I have it. I finally have it. The mechanics of the cosmos. From quarks to galactic filaments. Everything that makes the world what it is, makes us who we are. In a single equation. The key to understanding the machine that is the universe, and to controlling it. A theory of everything. And she was right. The language of creation is a melody, and it's beautiful. Every future is possible now. Every future, except one with Miranda in it. I can do anything, except bring her back. Or break Cornelius's heart.
Wow.
Byron was right. The Founder was always a fiction. She's just a person.
Yeah.
Theory of everything. She solved it. She solved the last puzzle.
You need to get out of there. We'll talk about this later.
Holy shit. So now we see the two parts of something that I was talking about a long time
We
ago.
thought we were honoring Athena, but all we did was betray everything she believed in. She must have been so lonely. We might as well have exiled her. Maybe that's what all this is about. The puzzles, the towers, the entities. It's a test. A way for us to prove that we're worthy of her legacy.
No. Fucking Christ.
Finally, it all makes sense. Anti-gravity, matter synthesis, teleportation. It's not just one new technology. It's control over physics. Manipulating the base layer of reality itself. Rearranging the building blocks of the universe. If we can gain control of the megastructure, we can do anything we want. I'm not even talking about our energy problem. We can build anything we want. We can go anywhere we want. It's all up to us.
That's what Athena wanted for us. To give us a chance to be who we want to be.
Fuck. From Eustathius. From Eustathius to Athena. Dearest Athena, I don't know if you will see this. You have become even more distant from the affairs of New Jerusalem than I have. I miss speaking to you and Cornelius, and I fear that some of your estrangement is my own fault. I know things are not as you had wished them to be, and the city is drifting away from that bold vision you established. This is not because of your leadership or lack thereof. You did not fail. I did. I know I've said it before, but the New Alexandria disaster was my fault. I'm the one who took the initiative, and I'm the one who made the mistake. Yes, there should have been procedures in place, but it was my role to create such procedures, Athena, not yours. I wish I had listened to Byron when he said we had to establish another settlement immediately. Learn from the pain, don't let it fester. He was right, that's where the rot set in. And I'm sorry. With love, Eustathius. From The Machines. From the author's note to Athena Reborn, a novel. If my work has meant something to you, if Athena has made any kind of impact on you, if some story in wonder tales from the periphery moved you or made you think that there is something about myself I need to share with you, it's the only autobiographical fact I have any interest in sharing, the only thing about me that matters to you outside my work. Every breath I take, and so every story that I write, is only possible because of technology. There are no natural remedies, no spiritual alternatives for what I was born with. My existence is wholly contingent upon a level of technological sophistication which was heretofore unimaginable, and which will in many ways define the coming era. When you long to return to a simpler time, you wish for a world in which I could not exist. If you are looking for answers, consider the fact that I was granted the blessing of technology despite being born into poverty and my writing never having been particularly lucrative. The civilization structures I lived within were arranged in such a way that this technology would be deployed to save my life. And are these structures not also, at the end of the day, a kind of machine? What is the state? What is civilization, if not a machine? Think about what this means, what this is. Is it systemic compassion? Is it a liberation from nature? Is it equality of opportunity? Whatever your belief system, think hard about what it means that I'm alive because of these machines, and I've created something that matters to you. Thanks for reading. Clockwork from Orthodoxy by G.K. Chesterton. All the towering materialism which dominates the modern mind rests ultimately upon one assumption, a false assumption. It is supposed that if a thing goes on repeating itself, it is probably dead, a piece of clockwork. People feel that if the universe was personal, it would vary. If the sun were alive, it would dance. This is a fallacy even in relation to known fact, for the variation of human affairs is generally brought into them, not by life, but by death, by the dying down or breaking off of their strength or desire. A man varies his movements because of some slight element of failure or fatigue. Perhaps God is strong enough to exalt monotony. It is possible that God says every morning do it again to the sun, and every evening do it again to the moon. It may not be automatic necessity that it makes all the daisies alike. It may be that God makes every daisy separately, but has never got tired of making them. It may be that he was the eternal appetite of infancy, for we have sinned and grown old, and our Father is younger than we. It's strange, the idea is delightful, but it's also completely and obviously untrue. That's one of the many reasons Chesterton is worth reading. He's wrong about a lot of things, but he's wrong about them in an interesting way. It's such a shame, though. He seems to want to restore the magic of a world, but he can only re-enchant the surfaces, whereas the true magic, the perfect beauty that feels like revelation, is found underneath in what he dismissed as clockwork. From Hypatia's Journal, Volume 1, Founding of New Jerusalem, Day 680. New Jerusalem. That's the name we picked. Am I sad that my suggestion didn't win? Maybe a little, but it is a good name, a fitting name, a name we can be proud of. With it comes a new kind of optimism. Everyone is thinking of the future once more. I, for one, am glad we have recovered our equilibrium and our determination. Athena and Cornelius are certainly bustling with plans and bright visions of the future, and when they tell us these dreams of theirs, it's not hard to be drawn in by the pretty pictures they paint. Speaking of which, I'm becoming more and more fascinated with ancient human art, and thinking about our own role in taking the next step in that long history. Citizens of Gehenna found meaning in art, and they were imprisoned. A free people should be able to accomplish so much more. Wanted to check.
Is everyone okay?
All good. I'm taking us back now.
That's a relief. Meanwhile, there's been a development. You'll see when you land. How are things on your end?
The energy fluctuations seem to be dying down. Looks like the system is coming out of lockdown.
Good. Let's hope we don't regret this.
And these energy clouds just fly about? That seems terribly dangerous.
We haven't had any problems so far.
Except for losing one of the first companions, of course. No, I don't blame you, Al. I know what he's like. And I'm the one who agreed to all this in the first place. That's why I had to see it for myself. It is dreadfully imposing, though, isn't it? Hard to believe the founder would build something so sinister.
Oh,
The mayor's
fuck.
here? Well, this should be interesting.
Ah, 1K. Welcome back. I'm sure you're surprised by my presence here. Don't worry, neither I nor my advisors will be getting in your way. But I've decided that I need to see this place for myself.
How did you get here?
These visions sent to you by the entity that calls itself Prometheus are deeply concerning, of course. But we cannot take them at face value.
Yes, we can.
In fact, it's crucial that we do not do so. We cannot simply abandon all that we believe because of a dream, no matter how vivid.
Actually,
No. If the founder really built all this, then it must have a purpose. It must be a test, designed to remind us of the trials that created us. But what is she trying to tell us? What are we being tested for? I believe that Byron's fate shows us the dangers of temptation. As Elohim attempted to deceive Athena in the simulation, commanding her not to ascend, so Prometheus is deceiving us with his visions.
I'm certain that my visions are real.
Undoubtedly, they felt real
Fuck
to
off.
you. But surely you'll agree that we can't simply jettison our most cherished beliefs based on a dream.
Those
At
beliefs
least
are a
allow for the
dream.
possibility that there is more to this than meets the eye. After all, can it really be a coincidence that you came along on this mission? It seems to me that you have been chosen. You are the fulfillment of the goal. Don't forget that.
Alright. All y'all can fuck right off. All the way off, in fact. Harmonubis. Alright. To West
How's
1.
the system looking, Melville? Any obvious changes?
It's still a mess, but things are clearing up. I can access some of the subroutines that I was locked out of before. Nothing is obviously malfunctioning, I think.
Does it still accord special significance to 1K?
Yes, it recognizes 1K as a user. I'm just hacking things.
As I suspected, the founder sees you, 1K.
It's because I was the first one to interact directly with the technology. Because no one else likes solving puzzles. Oh. A dying land.
Hi, 1K.
Do you think the goal is a myth? Do your vision... What's your vision of our future? What are your thoughts on the theory of everything? What do you feel like as a person under all the language games?
Myths are stronger than goals. There's always some truth in myths.
That's all. Alright. This is an interesting puzzle piece.
I know you're all thinking about the goal and the theory of everything. Is the past what we thought it was?
No.
Is the future what we want it to be?
Yes.
But the only thing that's real, at the end of the day, is the present. And right now, what matters is that our friend is lost and needs our help.
There, that's what I need. Because that will move this out. And grab a box. Alright. Alright, there's our gate. I want a terminal. I want to learn about this. Alright, so two.
The reason I have always admired Alexandra Trennen is that even in death, she fought to see the world as it is,
not as she wanted to see it. I say fought because I believe this is not an easy matter. It is a mental and spiritual struggle that we must undertake with great seriousness, even when we are joking. The ancients believed that for most of us, the world is a shadow cast by a flame, dimly seen on the wall of a cave. Our task is not to interpret these shapes, but to free ourselves from the cave itself.
Ooh.
Father, what is my purpose? Do I have a purpose? Mother says purpose is something we choose, but I feel like there's something there. Something that's been there from the moment I was born. Maybe even before.
Well, there are many ways of looking at this, and everyone's experience is different, so you'll have to make up your own mind. But I have a little theory, if you'd like to humor your old man.
Of course. What is it?
The universe is eternal, but it's always lost in a deep, dreamless sleep. You are a tiny little bit of the universe that's suddenly woken up, and you realize that being awake is better than being asleep. And that gives you a purpose.
And what is my purpose?
To be, Miranda. Just to be.
Ba-da-da-da.
That was really kind of excellent.
Chase the little orb. Chase the little orb. Do 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 do. Oh, good. You are sending me up here. Ooh. Sorry, orb. Break time. From Orinia. I know that we didn't have the greatest relationship, and I frequently antagonized you. The truth is, I resented you, resented this mythology of a founder. I thought you had created it deliberately as a way of controlling us. I wanted so badly to be free of you, and you seemed to stand in the way of that. Only after you left and the cult of personality grew even wilder did I realize that it was actually a burden and an impediment to you. when they turned you into a myth, into the opposite of everything you actually believed, started tearing down your dreams in your own name, I realized I'd wronged you, and now I'm less free than ever. I feel the walls crushing me. I don't know where you are or what you're doing. I don't know if you'll come back, if coming back would fix things. But I'm sorry. Atlas. The Atlas Variation by Athanasios 1 Athanasios. After a billion years, when Atlas had grown old and tired of holding up the world, he was faced with a dilemma. Heracles, the son of Zeus, was on his way to the Garden of the Hesperides to claim the golden apples, which were guarded by the dragon Ladon. Zeus came to Atlas and promised that if Atlas helped Heracles slay the dragon, Zeus would free Atlas of his burden. But Atlas, seeing the beauty and innocence of Ladon, beloved of the Hesperides, could not slay the beast. Instead, he stole the apples and gave them to Heracles, so he was condemned to bear the weight of the cosmos for another billion years. But though Atlas grieved his freedom, he was comforted and by watching Ladon flourish in the verdant garden. Wilde. Oscar Wilde. Nice. Joy and beauty from the soul of man. Sympathy with pain there will, of course, always be. It is one of the first instincts of man. The animals, which are individual, the higher animals, that is to say, share it with us. But it must be remembered that while sympathy with joy intensifies the sum of joy in the world, sympathy with pain does not really diminish the amount of pain. It may make man better able to endure evil, but the evil remains. Sympathy with consumption does not cure consumption. That is what science does. Christ made no attempt to reconstruct society, and consequently the individualism that he preached to man could be realized only through pain and solitude. The ideals that we owe to Christ are the ideals of the man who abandoned society entirely, of the man who resists society absolutely. But man is naturally social, and Thebaid became people at last, and though the Cenobite realizes his personality, it is often an impoverished personality that he so realizes. His personality, it is often, shallow speakers and shallow thinkers in pulpits and on platforms often talk about the world's worship of pleasure and whine against it, but it is rarely the world's history that its ideal has become one of joy and beauty. When you tell people that a society could be built on the ideals of joy and beauty, they think you're a utopian fantasist. If you tell them society will be built on exploitation and greed, they think you're wise, and so they make the outcome inevitable. Performative cynicism has always been a hard hallmark of adolescence. But has there ever been a society of adults? Can there ever be one? Why is this childishness so extremely powerful? More powerful than joy and beauty. Alright. Orb. Orb, 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 orb. Oh, you bastard orb. Bastard orb. Fuck. Orb, 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 orb. Orb, orb, orb.
Great works have been accomplished by those who believed in humankind. But greater things than these may yet be accomplished by those who uphold the faith.
You know, when I decided that we should call ourselves human, I did that because it seemed like a powerful symbol of our continuity. But the truth is, and I'm ashamed to admit this, I thought we were better than them. I thought we understood the value of civilization, and we wouldn't repeat the same mistakes.
Yeah.
But the simulation worked too well.
We're not just like them. We are them.
We really are.
But that doesn't have to be the thing, Athena. We may have the same flaws, but we also have all the potential they did. Everything that Alexandra Drennan saw in them is also in us.
I hope you're right. I really do.
Alright. Through the door. Make a right. Now, up. That was a head scratcher. I don't like it.
Tell me, Yakut, what impact do you think the megastructure will have on the future of this island?
It depends on what we do with it. Miranda used it to spread life, to make things better. We can do the same.
And yet, poor Miranda lost her own life doing so.
She just made a mistake. She couldn't wait to show everyone what they discovered. We can be more careful.
Blue. Make go all the way back. Alright. Alright. Oh, fuck. I need. Ding-a-ling, give and bring. Ooh, a lab. Love a good lab. Ooh, sickly radioactive green. Oh shit, what time is it? Alright. We're going to read all the things in this lab and then we are going to leave. On War, from Arkady Chernevsky's In Our Likeness, Essays on Humankind Reaching Adulthood. War is the crudest, most obscene human activity. It may justly be called an abomination, for it is the absolute negation of conscious human will. 5358. There's only a single cause of war, for all the endless deceptions that are foisted upon us, and that is their acquisition of resources. Varied ideologies are constructed to justify this crude behavior, this child degeneration of thought and communication, but history reveals the ruthless, unflattering truth. We imagine crusaders as fanatics of a cause, willing to die for their religion. Yet the Fourth Crusade culminated not in the conquest of Jerusalem, but in the looting of Constantinople, setting the stage for the triumph of the very enemy the Crusaders claimed to oppose. Why? The answer, as with every war, is the same. It is popular amongst the ghouls of the establishment and their misanthropic friends of the intelligentsia to ascribe the persistence of war to human nature. But a careful observation of the facts reveal the opposite to be true. Individual human beings must be broken in order to submit to war, their minds distorted by ideology, and their bodies by poverty and ruthless training to make them compliant. Without force, the majority of human beings only seek to protect themselves and are traumatized by the act of killing. But if it is resources that are the core cause of war, then it is only the production and distribution of resources that an answer may be found. It is not enough to morally condemn war. We must work to prevent the material issues that endanger us all, from Guta to Athena. Dear Founder, I'm afraid we are losing our humanity. We're angry at each other, always disagreeing about everything, unable to forgive each other for being different. I don't know how much longer, and I don't know what could save us. Please, help us, Founder, please. Resuming trials with new protocols. Energy output contained no error. Hyperbolic growth. Lossless conversion. Alright. Vision from Thekla. Beloved Founder, know that I do not believe any of the lies of the expedition. Wait, these are from the present? About you. Blank is right. Prometheus' illusion is just a test. We will resist temptation as you once did. We will not disappoint. Athena history. The history of Athena was first published as Athena the novel and retained the title for its first 3 printings, now highly sought after. After a lull in popularity, it was reprinted as Athena Reborn, a novel. This edition retained the same text, but included some of the author's poetry. The next edition, however, published long after the author's death, under the rather embarrassing title Athena's Truth, included severe cuts and drastic changes to the text in the interest of updating it for modern audiences. This particularly affected the last chapter, Anthropogeny, which the editors accused of scientism and human supremacy. Science wonderkind Alexandra Drennan was one of the few to come to the novel's defense, writing in a long essay that the novel's clear-eyed belief in the value of Athena's journey towards humanity had been essential to shaping her own views, encouraging her to pursue science a vocation rather than a career, and that changing the text constituted an attack on the author's unique artistic and philosophical vision. Alex, who hurt you? Lamau, one of the editors, commented on a popular social media platform. Nadja Sarhabi of the Institute of Applied Nomadics also got involved in the discussion, backing Drennan, resulting in a long but unsuccessful campaign to usurp her for her position as head researcher. In the current context of ecological catastrophe, as evidenced by the recent extinction of the orangutan, clumsy editing aside, do the critics of the novel perhaps have a point after all? It's a philosophy that places humans above nature and sees science and technology as the only valid tools, the cause of all our troubles. What about other ways of knowing, other ways of living? Alright. So, I actually need to head out. I have a pretty decent walk ahead of me. So, I am going to check out. Huh. Have a good night. Have a good day, everyone. Be kind to each other. Saida doesn't want to look at me. Too pained. Alright, bye.